All right. The show just came on. Now let me see if I can. I'm trying to get a bracket set up here so I can fill it in as they go along here. So let me see if I can work on this while they're. I'm sure they're going to talk for a while. Let's see if I can get this bracket thing ready to go for when they start announcing the teams. Yeah, fucking Notre Dame. All right. You're not missing anything if you're not watching it at home. It's whatever they're gonna do some kind of make a big deal out of it. So they haven't announced anything yet. Let me see if you have. All right, that's Ohio State. Oregon. Penn State will be on there somewhere. Let me see. SMU. I don't have to worry about finding Alabama's logo. The reality is Alabama's just not good enough to make a 12-team playoff. It's might be a sad reality for some people. But it's the reality nonetheless. Yeah. It's reality nonetheless there. That's Texas. Who else is left? Texas, Oogabadoog. I feel like I missed somebody. I did miss somebody. Boise State. All right. All right. Let me see if I can get this worked out here. All right, y'all, hold on. I'm getting a bracket set up here. They're not announcing any of the teams yet. I'm trying to get the bracket set up so I can fill it in when they announce it. But it's just the talking heads right now. So unless you care what the talking heads' opinions are. Well, honestly, nobody's opinion matters anymore. We're about to find out for real. Boise. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, you know who I forgot? They're very forgettable. I forgot Indiana. All right, so let me go. Let me grab Indiana, and then that should be everybody. Where is Indiana? Right there. Yeah, it's understandable to forget Indiana. Shout out to Indiana, but all right, here you go. So I'll. It looks like a mess right now. I'll fill it in. I'll fill it in. However, once they start. Once they start doing it, we'll get it filled in. We can make some guesses. Where's Oregon? Oregon will be the one. I don't think that will be a surprise to anybody, right? So we can go ahead and put Oregon at 1. I think Georgia will be the 2. I think Georgia will be the 2. I've been wrong before. Contrary to popular belief. Let's see. Georgia will probably be the 2. I don't know about 3 and 4. What do y'all think about 3 and 4? I mean, it'll be. I'm guessing it's going to be. Is Arizona State really going to be 4? I guess Arizona State's going to be 4 and Boise's going to be 3, but boy, that's terrible. I don't think the group of 5 should ever be any higher than 12. But they haven't announced anything yet. If you just tuned in, they're just doing the talking head shit. They haven't announced anything. I've just got all the logos on the screen so that when they do start announcing it, I can get the bracket filled in. I'll cash out $500, whatever sucknut can tell me the specific date of the last time Ohio State beat UT in football. I'm going to go with never on that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with never on that. Let's put Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to be 9. We'll move Tennessee to 9. Probably Ohio State at 8. Again, I'm just guessing right now. They haven't announced anything yet, so I'm just filling the bracket in of what my guess is, of what the committee is going to do, not what I would do. I already told you I'd have Boise State at 12. I would never put the group of 5 higher than 12, but I'm not on the committee, unfortunately. I should be. Let's see. Clemson at 12, I guess. I guess SMU at 11. I mean, I don't know. Texas. The 5 and the 6 is hard, too. Texas and Penn State at 5 and 6, but I don't know which. So the committee has been pretty high on the Big Ten this year, so I'm going to guess Penn State at 5, Texas at 6. I'll get this filled in. Again, okay, so here you go. Well, we got to move Indiana. Where the fuck? Indiana, 10. Notre Dame, 7. So this is just my guess, okay? The committee hasn't done anything yet. So they haven't announced anything yet. This is just, I'm just guessing right now. So if you tuned in, if you just tuned in, this is not official. They haven't announced it yet. The show is on. They got Kirk Herbstreit, Nick Saban, Greg McElroy, the usual cast of characters, Booger McFarland, and they're just talking about it right now. They haven't actually sorry, Lou, but Bama is not due to strength of schedule and more rank wins. I don't really understand what you're saying. If you're trying to say Alabama should be in, no, they shouldn't, and no, they're not going to be. They lost to 2 teams that don't even have winning records. So SMU was 11-1 in the regular season with a 3-point loss on the road to a ranked team. Alabama was 9-3 in the regular season with 2 losses to 500 teams who aren't ranked. So it's literally that simple. What's up, Robbie? You gonna stick around today? Bama was blown out by a 5-win team. Yeah, that's that simple. SMU was 11-1. Their loss was on the road to a ranked BYU team by 3 points. Bama was 9-3, and 2 of their losses were to unranked teams that didn't even have a 500 record. SMU is getting in, not Bama. Tennessee can't play in cold weather. Yeah, right. It's freezing in Knoxville this week. But, yeah, I guess they just had to shut the football program down this week. Didn't practice, didn't do anything this week because it was under 30 degrees. SMU is minus 1,000 to make the college football playoff. That means they're a massive favorite. I guess if you know what betting means, that means SMU is a massive favorite to make the playoff. They're talking about Boise State now. They still haven't released any of the rankings. What you're seeing on the screen right now is just my guess of the 12 teams, and I'm going to move. I'll move the teams around once they actually start to reveal the bracket. But this is just my rough guesstimate, so I can do this on the fly and move the teams around once they start announcing the bracket. Bama had a first-time OC. What does that matter? Ryan Day is getting bounced unless he wins at all. I disagree. I do think if he loses in round 1, there's a chance they would fire him. I wouldn't fire him if it was up to me, but I guess if he loses in the first round, I guess there's a chance. But I don't think it's, if he makes the national title game and loses, I would be shocked if he got fired. No national title losing coach has ever been fired. How come SMU to the playoff got leaked? I don't know anything about it getting leaked. What if Boise had beaten Oregon? Would you still rank them 12? Yes. But the Boise won't be ranked 12. They're probably going to be a top 4 seed. I just disagree with it. I don't think the group of 5 should ever be higher than 12. Just like I don't think Notre Dame should ever be higher than 9, but I'm not on the committee. People posting fake spoilers. How come Texas over? Well, I don't know what's worse, people posting fake spoilers or people falling for it. People on Twitter leaking the results. They're trolling you. There are no results to leak. You're just being trolled. How far you got Indiana going? It depends on where they get seeded and what the matchups are. I can't make predictions on games until I know who teams are playing. This is not the actual ranking that you see on the screen right here. This is just, I've got the logos already up on the screen. They haven't announced the rankings yet. As they start to announce the rankings, I'll move these logos around. But a troll on Twitter saying SMU is in the playoffs is not a leak. That's a troll on Twitter tricking you. I mean, we all think SMU is in. Well, all of us with common sense think SMU is in. There's a handful of Bama fans who are allergic to reality, but it's about to slap them in the face. Were you happy when Beck got injured? Is that a serious question? Holy shit. Have you ever been happy when a player got injured? If you have, you need to reassess your point of view on things, bud. SMU shouldn't be in. That's half of an opinion, and it means absolutely nothing. You can't say a team shouldn't be in without saying who should be in. So that's half an opinion, which is even more worthless than a whole opinion. Boise State is Pac-12 next year. Do you think Pac will be Power 5 again? Well, what we call Power 4, Power 5 is really irrelevant. The playoff committee, there's no such thing as Power 4, Power 5, Group of 5. If you read the playoff language, it doesn't say anything about Power 4, Power 5, Group of 5. Those are terms we use as fans to distinguish conferences. So it doesn't really matter to me whether the Pac-12 is called a Power 5 or a Group of 5, which I guess would be Group of 6 if you called it that. But Brett McMurphy is not a troll. Bama out, SMU in, Gumps left out. Yeah, that's what I think too. Clemson is ACC champ. Georgia SEC champ. Georgia boat race Clemson 34-3. Bama at 13. No way Bama should be in. Yeah, I agree with that. Bama's out. I do appreciate all the Bama fans who were convinced Bama was getting in over SMU and made all those bets with me last night and this morning. I really do appreciate those Bama fans that did that. I leave tomorrow to go out of town for 4 days, and y'all have just about paid for my entire vacation, so I appreciate y'all for that. How weak is the ACC? It's the weakest conference of the 4 main ones. Neither Bama nor SMU really deserves to get in. Again, that's half an opinion. If neither of them deserve to get in, then you have to tell me who does. Because you have to have 12 teams. Do you think that Texas and Georgia will meet again? Depends on the bracket. I mean, until we know what side of the bracket teams are on, it's hard to say who might win games and who might meet up in round 2 or 3 or whatever. We got to wait and see where the teams fall. This bracket you see on the screen right now is not the real bracket. This is just the bracket I made. We're waiting on ESPN to announce the bracket, and then I'll move the logos around as need be. No, this is not the real bracket. They haven't announced the bracket yet. I've just got all the logos up on the screen. I'll move the team logos around as they start announcing the bracket. When do I think they'll actually announce it? What time is it? 12:17. I'll say they'll start in another 5 minutes. There's a commercial break now. I'll say they come back from commercial break and hopefully they'll start with the bracket. Clemson has one more loss and is only in because the ACC champ SMU was always in, which is why SMU is higher than Taters, says Charles Brantley. Yeah, I don't know if SMU will be 11 and Clemson will be 12. I've got no idea. Clemson might be 11 and SMU might be 12. I don't know. This is not the real bracket. They haven't announced the bracket. JG, thank you for the super chat. Do you feel like any of these teams could win it all, or is there a team you would say has zero chance? Well, I got to see the bracket. I mean, because who you play and what side of the bracket certain teams are on has a lot to do with that question that you're asking. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Boise State's not winning it. That's for certain, no matter where they're at. Oregon's going to be the favorite. Georgia will probably have the second best odds. I think Ohio State, Texas. I think if you look at the odds market, probably the top 4 in terms of the odds to win it are probably going to be, in some order, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Ohio State. In a one-game scenario, anything can happen. We see it all the time. For example, Bama got beaten by Vandy in Oklahoma. So in a one-game scenario, anything can happen. In a 12-team playoff, though, my opinion anyway, the most talented teams will rise to the top because it's hard to beat one top 10 team. It's going to be really hard to beat 3 top 10 teams in a row. So the chances, like, in other words, could Boise State win a round 1 game or whatever group of five team down the road? Yeah, of course, a group of 5 team in a one-off scenario could beat a potential playoff team for sure. Could a group of 5 team beat 3 top 10 teams in a row? No, I don't think so. And it's going to be hard for anybody to do that. So I tend to lean towards the teams that overall are more talented: Oregon, Texas, Georgia, Ohio State in a playoff scenario. Doesn't mean one of those 4 will win it, but I think those would be the 4 favorites. Again, it also depends on how the bracket breaks down. Thank you, James. He says, Rammer, Jammer, Yellow Hammer. Not this year, Alabama. Go Dogs. What's up, badass? Positive Eyes, Robert Ryan, Rudy, Guy ATL, Robbie, Els King, JR. You see y'all in here. Big Mill, Jared G, Jeremiah, CR. All right, here we go with the bracket, I think. Highest ranked. Nope, they're just explaining it for the 100th time. Never mind. I thought they were about to do it, but they're just explaining how it works for the 100th time. Why is Bama not in a lose bracket? Because they're not good enough. They're not good enough to make a 12-team playoff. Oh, what's up, Drew? I'm good. How are you, buddy? ESPN is gay. I don't think TV channels have a sexual preference. I have no idea when they announced it. They didn't call me and tell me. I'm watching it just like everybody else is. Do you think Georgia can win a natty with Gunner? Yeah, I do. I'm not saying they will, but I don't think they can't win it with him. What's the biggest surprise team for you this year? Well, Indiana is a surprise. Who else? SMU's not a surprise to me. I picked SMU to win the ACC. Now they didn't, but I mean they played in the ACC championship game, so SMU wasn't a surprise to me. Indiana, surprise. Arizona State picked by almost everybody to finish dead last in the Big 12, and then some teams that. All right, Oregon is they're announcing the bracket now. All right, Oregon is. I'll get caught back up on the comments in a minute. All right, Oregon is the one. So obviously everybody was right there. That's not a surprise. I think everybody knew Oregon was going to be the one, so we don't have to change anything around there. Georgia is the 2. So we were right there. Oregon 1, Georgia 2. They're announcing the bracket now. I'll change the logos around as I need to as they announce it. So far we have Oregon, the 1 seed, Georgia, the 2 seed. Now they're taking another break. Do you think Georgia can win a 90 with Gunner? Yeah, okay. Tennessee not getting enough love. Don't overlook them. Not getting enough love. They're in the playoff. I mean, what do you mean they're not getting enough love? SMU got word they are in. Yeah, I've been telling you that since yesterday. Actually, I've been telling you that for a week. They were in no matter what. Yes, Colby. Boise State is the 3. So we're 3 for 3 so far. I don't have to change anything yet. Boise State is the 3. I can't tell you how much I disagree with that. I think it's ridiculous that Boise State is the 3. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. Their best win is UNLV. I just think it's ridiculous that a group of 5 team with that type of skill. I know they played Oregon, but they lost. But so I just think it's ridiculous that a group of 5 gets a bye. A group of 5 should be the 12 seed, but Boise State at the 3. Arizona State at the 4. So 4 for 4 so far. Arizona State looked good yesterday. Did y'all watch have y'all watched any Arizona State? They looked really good yesterday. All right, so we have the top 4. Oregon, Georgia, Boise, and Arizona State. What if 2 group of 5 schools have a better ranking than the worst Power 4 team? Then the 2 group of 5 schools would get in and not the Power 4, because the playoff committee doesn't. There's no language. The playoff committee doesn't differentiate between group of 5 and Power 4. It's just 5 highest ranked conference champions get in, 4 highest ranked conference champions get a bye. Clemson is the 12. Clemson is the 12. So they went 1 through 4. Now they go to 12. Clemson is the 12. So we're 5 for 5 so far. I haven't had to change anything yet. Oregon is the 1. Georgia the 2. Boise the 3. Arizona State the 4. Those are the 4 teams that'll be getting a bye. And then they went to the 12 seed after that. The 12 seed is Clemson. The 12 seed is Clemson. Texas. Texas is the 5, so we do have to move something around here. We're going to move Penn State to 6, Texas to 5. Texas is the 5. So Clemson will be playing a first-round playoff game on the road at Texas. Those games will be December 20th, which is a Friday, and December 21st, a Saturday. There's one game Friday night at 8, December 20th, Friday night at 8. 3 games December 21st at noon, 4, and 8. And Clemson at Texas will be one of those first 4 games. Clemson, the 12 seed, Texas, the 5 seed. Oh, shit, Clemson don't even go? Not sure what you... Oh, you mean they shouldn't even play the game? Penn State is the 6. Penn State is the 6. So, again, they have revealed 1 through 4, which is Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State at 4. Those 4 teams will get a bye. Number 12 is Clemson. They will play on the road at number 5, Texas. And number 6 is Penn State. Penn State will host the 11 seed, which my guess is going to be SMU. Notre Dame is the 7. So we don't have to change that. Notre Dame is the 7. So Notre Dame will host the 10 seed, which will probably be Indiana. Notre Dame will host the 10 seed, which will probably be Indiana. So they've revealed 1 through 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 12. So Georgia will likely play Notre Dame in the first playoff, in the second round. Georgia will likely play Notre Dame in the second round. Ohio State is 8. Ohio State is 8, so we were right there. We don't have to move that one. Tennessee will most likely be 9. Tennessee will be 9. Indiana will be 10. SMU will be 11, is what I think. They're announcing it this way, so you have to keep watching to find out about SMU. That's why they're announcing it the way they are. The 9 seed is Tard Nation. Tard Nation will be traveling to Columbus, Ohio on December 21st for a playoff game. Tard Nation versus the Sucknut. I bet you that'll be the most watched game in the first round. I bet you that'll be the most watched game in the first round. Tard Nation on the road at the Suck Nuts. The only ones left are 10 and 11. We know Indiana is in. My guess, they're most likely the 10 seed, which means they'll be playing at Notre Dame, and SMU will be the 11 playing at Penn State. But I'm guessing on those two. We're still waiting on 10 and 11. Two teams left. Two teams left. Look at Georgia. Georgia could make it all the way to the national title game without having to play Oregon, Ohio State, Tennessee, or Texas. Indiana is the 10. Short drive for Indiana. They'll be on the road at Notre Dame on December 21st. Yeah, Georgia's going to get the winner of Indiana, Notre Dame, and then probably Penn State in the Final Four. Georgia will play the winner of Indiana versus Notre Dame, and then probably Penn State in the Final Four. All right, here comes the 11 seed. Comes down to Alabama and SMU. It's going to be SMU. All right, show us who it is. You done wasted enough time now. Let's go. Here it comes. Good luck in the Citrus Bowl, Gumps. SMU is the 11 seed. Again, I want to thank all the Bama fans that were dumb enough to think that Alabama was going to get in over SMU and made all those bets with me. I really appreciate it. I'm going out of town tomorrow. I have a 4-day vacation planned. I'm leaving at 5 in the morning. I'll be in New Orleans Monday through Thursday. And thanks to Bama fans who can't separate heart from head, y'all have paid for a significant portion of Uncle Lou's vacation. So I really appreciate the Alabama fans who had the exact perfect combination of money and stupidity and were willing to actually bet that Bama was going to get in over SMU. Thank you. I appreciate it. So here, this is the final bracket on the screen now. So let's just break it down here one more time. Oregon is the 1. Georgia is the 2. Boise is the 3. Arizona State is the 4. Those 4 teams will receive first-round byes. The first round of the playoffs are on December 20th and December 21st. That's a Friday night and a Saturday. There's 1 game Friday night at 8 and 3 games on Saturday at noon, 4, and 8. Those 4 games played over those 2 days will be Clemson on the road at Texas, Tennessee on the road at Ohio State, Indiana on the road at Notre Dame, and SMU on the road at Penn State. I think the hardest, if you want to take the bracket and break it up into 4 parts, kind of upper left, upper right, lower left, lower right, I think the upper left is the toughest bracket. The upper left would be the toughest road. You've got three legitimately good teams there: Tennessee, Ohio State, and Oregon. Those are all going to be great games. The Tennessee Ohio State game is going to be a great game. That's hard to pick. Whoever wins that game will play Oregon. I think that'll be a tough game for both teams. I think that's the toughest. I think that's the toughest side of to be on is the upper left side of the bracket. Georgia will play the winner of Notre Dame and Indiana at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. The winner of that game will play whoever comes out of the Boise State, Penn State, SMU bracket. I like Georgia's chances. I like Georgia's chances with the way that bracket breaks down. I think if Georgia can win the Sugar, I actually think Georgia's game against Indiana. Let's just look at Georgia for a second. I think Georgia's game against Indiana or Notre Dame, whoever wins between Indiana and Notre Dame, I think that's a tougher game for Georgia there in the Sugar Bowl against either of those two teams than either Penn State or SMU. So I think if Georgia wins their first playoff game, they're very likely to beat either Penn State or SMU in the next game and make the national championship. The Clemson-Texas bracket is an interesting one too. Who would y'all, if you had to make a pick on that right now, who are you taking? Clemson on the road at Texas. I'd probably lean Texas. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to lean home team in a lot of these games. Tennessee and Ohio State is going to be a tough one, but I think Penn State, I'm leaning Penn State at home against SMU. This is just initial thoughts off the top of my head. I'm leaning Penn State at home against SMU. I'm leaning Texas at home against Clemson. I'm leaning Notre Dame at home against Indiana. The Tennessee-Ohio State game is a tough one. I'm probably leaning Tennessee in that one, even though it's on the road for Tennessee. And then Arizona State is going to face the winner of Clemson and Texas. Now, that's going to be a good game. I think Texas could beat Arizona State. Arizona State might beat Texas or Clemson, whichever one it is. I think that'll be a good game, too. What is that, the Fiesta Bowl? That'll be a good game, too. And then, of course, the Rose Bowl. No matter who wins that Tennessee-Ohio State game, that Rose Bowl is going to be a hell of a game. What if it ends up being Oregon and Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, just like the old Pac-12 versus Big Ten days? That would be interesting. Tennessee versus Oregon, of course. Battle of the gimmick uniforms there. Tennessee versus Oregon. Battle of the gimmicky uniforms. You know, Tennessee's trying to copy Oregon. They wear 7, 8, 9 different uniform combinations a year. Tennessee does for no reason at all. That would be interesting. I don't know about this bottom right bracket. I don't know how interesting. That'll be the least watched bracket is the bottom right. I don't know how many people are interested in Penn State and SMU. And then the winner of that game plays Boise State in the Peach Bowl. I don't know who's interested in that. But one of those teams is making the Final Four. Boise, Penn State, or SMU. One of those three teams is making the Final Four. Probably Penn State. Who else was impressed with Penn State last night offensively? I know they lost the game, and it's another big game loss for James Franklin, and all he ever does is lose big games. I know. But offensively, weren't y'all impressed with Penn State offensively? I didn't think they would score that many points against Oregon. I did not think they would score that many points against Oregon. I know Oregon ended up winning by 8 or whatever, but I was surprised Penn State scored that many points against Oregon. I really was. I was surprised. If Penn State's offense can play like that against SMU, they'll probably beat them, and they'll probably beat Boise State and be in the Final Four against Georgia. Or Notre Dame or Indiana. boy, these playoffs are going to be great. I know not everybody was in favor of the 12-team playoff, but sitting here looking at this bracket and just thinking about these games, you got to remember, especially with these first-round games, what would you rather watch? Ohio State hosting Tennessee on December 21st? Or would you rather watch the fucking Gasparillo Bowl between Florida and Louisiana Lafayette or whatever? I mean, come on. These are going to be great fucking games. 5 days before Christmas, early Christmas present. Yeah, these games on December 20th and December 21st are early Christmas presents. I'm not going to lie. I'm obviously glad Georgia won the SEC. It was a great game, and I'm glad we get a bye week. We get some extra time off. All that's great. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm a little bit jealous of Ohio State fans, Texas fans, Penn State fans, and Notre Dame fans. Because these home playoff game environments and atmospheres are going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ohio State loses first round to Tennessee, says Felix Phillips. Thank you, Felix, for the super chat. That's going to be a great game. I'm sure this afternoon the lines will be out on all these games, so we can, they might even be out now. But like, who do y'all think's who's gonna be favored? Tennessee on the road at Ohio State. Ohio State by 3. I mean, home field advantage is going to be huge in these games. So who do y'all think is going to be? What are you thinking on Tennessee at Ohio State? Ohio State plus 3.5? No way. You think Ohio State's going to be an underdog? No, Ohio State will be favored. I think they'll be a small favorite, but I think they'll be favored. I think Texas will be around a touchdown, maybe a little more favorite. Somewhere between 7 and 10 points, I think Texas will be favored over Clemson. Notre Dame and Indiana, I think Notre Dame will probably be favored 6, 7 points. And I think Penn State will be a significant favorite over SMU. 7 to 10 points over SMU. Ohio State will be favored, but I don't think they win. Yeah, I'm not talking about who you think will win. I think Tennessee can beat Ohio State, but I do think Ohio State will be favored. I do think Ohio State will be favored. Lines are already out on FanDuel. Ohio State minus 7.5. Is that true? Let me see if I can find them. That's higher than I thought. If that's true, I'll bet Tennessee right now at plus 7.5. Let me see. College football. Yep, here they are. Here you go. Clemson on the road at Texas. Look at this. Texas, 11.5 point favorite. Wow. Ohio State is a 6.5 point favorite. Penn State is a 7.5 point favorite. And Notre Dame is a 7.5 point favorite. So they're all, these three are around a touchdown. Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, all favored around a touchdown. Texas, a significant favorite over Clemson at 11.5. So a double-digit favorite for Texas hosting Clemson. Wow. I guess they got some of the bowl games on here already too. Low level shit. Memphis and West Virginia. Army Navy. Army favored by 4.5. I like Army in that one, by the way. I like Army to win that game. That's next weekend. But here you go. Here's the odds on the playoff matchups again. Clemson is an 11.5 point underdog on the road at Texas. Tennessee is a 6.5 point underdog on the road at Ohio State. SMU, a 7.5 point underdog on the road at Penn State. Indiana, a 7.5 point underdog on the road at Notre Dame. So all the home teams favored. 3 of them by about a touchdown. Texas by 11.5. These playoff ticket prices are going to be through the roof. Yeah, you want to know why ticket prices were so low for the conference championship games yesterday? It's because of these first round playoff games. That's why, or in the other playoff games too. People were saving their money to go to the playoff game instead of the conference championship games. Tennessee is going to be the first SEC team to let Ohio State win in a long time. We'll see. Tennessee doesn't play as well away from Knoxville. That is true. They're a bad road team. They are a bad road team. They got 2 weeks to figure it out. When will the announcement of times for which when the games are played? That I don't know, because I'm assuming that's up to ABC. So ABC probably had to wait until they knew which games were being played, and now ABC will get to choose, or ABC and ESPN will get to choose what games come on what times. I'm assuming. I don't know that for sure, but that would be my guess. Saban crying about Bama. When you count Tennessee out, they rise to the occasion. I don't know. I've been counting them out for a long time, and they've yet to rise. UJ lucked up with the best bracket, in my opinion. Well, that makes sense since everything about UJ is nothing but luck. Every game they've ever won is nothing but luck. Either, luck because of the referees, or luck because somebody somewhere else got injured, or luck because the game was played a certain place, or luck because somebody fumbled, or Georgia's never won a game because they were just better than the other team, according to my comment section anyway. Where's the Sugar Bowl played at? Are you being serious? Come on, man. Colby. Come on, bud. Come on, man. Come on, man. 5-star dummy. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Did bro just ask where the Peach Bowl was? I know he asked where the Sugar Bowl was. Hey, Lou, can I get a go dog? Yeah, go dogs, bud. Georgia versus Texas in championship game. It could happen. Georgia versus Texas, Georgia versus Oregon, Georgia versus Ohio State. I think one of those three is likely. Georgia would probably lose to Indiana or Notre Dame. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out in 3 weeks on New Year's Day. We will find out in 3 weeks on New Year's Day. You're not going to get an update on Beck. So, I mean, and even if you get an update, you can't believe it. So, you won't know anything about Beck until New Year's Day. If Beck goes out there and is playing, then that means he's okay. If he's not playing, then that means he's not. But you can't believe anything Kirby or anybody from Georgia tells you about injuries. Safe travels to you guys today. Go dog. Hey, thanks, Nature Boy. Lou, you think on the other side it'll be Texas or Oregon versus Georgia? Yeah, I mean, I would probably take Oregon to beat either Ohio State or Tennessee. And I would probably take Texas to beat Arizona State. Oh, here we go. So the Friday night game is Indiana and Notre Dame. Indiana at Notre Dame, Friday night, December 20th at 8. The other three first-round games, SMU, Penn State at noon, Tennessee, Ohio State, 8 o'clock, Clemson in Texas, 4 o'clock. Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, 8:45 on New Year's Day. Boise State Fiesta Bowl, 7:30 New Year's Eve. Rose Bowl, 5 o'clock January 1st. Peach Bowl, 1 o'clock January 1st. So one playoff game on New Year's Eve, 3 on New Year's Day. $8 in Columbus could be cold for Tennessee. It's cold in Tennessee, bud. It snows and it's 20 degrees in Tennessee, bud. How much of that Alabama money did you make? 200 and something dollars, I think. It wasn't. I mean, it was 4 or 5 people. One guy bet 100, several bet 50. I didn't add it up. It's several $100s. Where are the semifinal games being played? Bowl games. Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl. It says on the screen there. It says it right there on the screen. Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl. No Alabama? No. There is no Alabama. There is no Alabama. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I've got a busy day today. I am catching a plane at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. I've got a lot to do to get ready to go out of town. Probably not going to do a Your Season Is Over video today. It seems a little pointless. Really, the only team whose season ended yesterday was Alabama and Iowa State. That's it. So we can all just spend all day laughing at Alabama and Iowa State if we want to. I am going to upload a couple of videos today. They just won't be the typical Your Season Is Over video. There's only 5 games yesterday, and what am I, we're going to laugh at Texas. They're in the playoffs. We're going to laugh at SMU for losing to Clemson. They're in the playoffs. We're going to laugh at fucking Penn State for losing to Oregon. They're in the playoffs. So, Bama and Iowa State are really the only 2 teams worth laughing at. So, Bama, your season is over, literally. I might make a video just laughing about Bama, actually, today. That might be something I could do. So I will get some videos up today, but I'm not going to do the typical Your Season Is Over thing just because of the circumstances. The playoff rankings have been revealed and all that kind of thing. So it's not any fun to laugh at Iowa State anyway. And everybody and their brother's been laughing at Alabama for a while now. So anyway, appreciate y'all tuning in today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll talk to you again soon. Have a good morning.